The first thing I would like to say is that today's gospel is the entire chapter of St. Luke, the entire chapter, chapter 15 of the Gospel of St. Luke. And I decided to meditate today only from verse 1 to verse 10. You please go and during the week try to read the rest of the Gospel. And the rest is the prodigal son. We all know that parable, but because it was too much, so I decided to just read the half, let us say, half of the Gospel. 10 verses of this chapter. But scholars say that the three parables have a very deep connection. They are very deep connected. The parable of the lost sheep, the parable of the lost coin, and the parable we can call, because I'm saying lost, so the parable of the lost sons. We think that there is only one son who is lost, but scholars say that actually both of them were lost, each one in a different way, but both of them again were lost. The young and the older son lost. So please go and read during this week this parable about the lost sons and try to meditate. I'm going to say something that it may help you to meditate about that. The second thing I want to say, I said that like 2 or 3 weekends ago. Now I'm getting older, I don't remember when was that. And I don't remember it was at 5 p.m. mass, 9 a.m., 11 a.m. I have no idea, but I said that. So I'm going to say it again, just in case you were not here and you didn't listen to that. So I'm going to say it again. When we read that in the gospel, that Jesus Christ says a parable, we have to keep one thing in mind. He is using, and every single parable in the gospel is about that. He is using a very known event, a very ordinary event. I was saying that again 2 or 3 weekends ago. A very ordinary event to try to say something very extraordinary that we cannot see and that we don't know. That's the key of the parable. And in today's gospel, we see that. The two parables that I'm going to talk about are using very well-known images. Maybe not for you and for me, but for the people in the time of Jesus Christ. That was very common. And I always say that I don't know anything about sheep and shepherds. I have seen many sheep, but I have never had any experience about that. But that was very common in the time of Jesus Christ. So he's using images that people know, but he's trying to tell us something in today's gospel, something about God. That's the key. So what we are reading here is trying to help us to understand how God works, if you want to say it, how God thinks, how God acts, how God is. And this is what Jesus Christ is trying to say. Now, the third thing I would like to say. We see a very simple structure in both parables. There is a setting, is like an introduction, and after that is about something that is lost. In the first case, a sheep is lost. After that, there is somebody who is searching for that sheep that is lost. In the same case in the second one, there is something that is lost, a coin. Somebody who is is looking for it, a woman. And after that, it comes that the people who are looking for that find what it was lost. And after that, there is rejoice, like fiesta, party. They want to celebrate that. The same. And you can see that in the third one, the prodigal son, or the parable of the two sons that are lost, they have the same structure. You can see that, okay? I'm giving you some elements to go and read the gospel. Remember, you have to read it, please. It's very short. So we have the same thing. There is one thing, fourth. Now I'm going to say another thing. Fourth thing. In the first parable is something that is very interesting for me. I don't know, when I was reading the gospel, I don't know if you have the same feeling. It says, what man among you having 100 sheep and losing one of them would not leave the 99 in the desert and go after the lost one until he finds it? The answer is none. Who would abandon 99 looking for only one? I mean, he's a bad shepherd. Because he's putting on risk 99 only for one. So you don't have to be a shepherd. You have to make a little bit of logic and common sense and say, doesn't make any sense. I prefer the one can stay lost, but I'm going to keep 99. Only we can think about economics too. It's much valuable 99 than just one. Money, meat, I mean, it doesn't make any sense actually. So the question is very interesting for me, and my answer is nobody would do something like that. So remember, that is telling us something about God. He's crazy. He is crazy when he wants to find somebody who is lost. His love is really crazy. Beautiful, beautiful. And when somebody is lost, he acts in a crazy way to try to find that man or woman who is lost. He loves in a crazy way, you want. He does things that may not be very logical, maybe, to attract and to try to find the person who is lost. And this is, in my opinion, the beautiful thing about today's gospel. And actually, I'm going to tell you something else. You can read the entire Bible since the beginning. I'm talking about the book of Genesis. I hope you are not going to read the entire Bible. Please don't do it. But you can read it since the beginning to the end, the book of Revelation, with that key. God looking for the human being, for each one of us. At the end, I'm going to read what the Catechism of the Catholic Church says about that. But we can spend, and we should spend a lot of time thinking about that truth, that God is looking in a desperate way to possess, if you want, each one of us, to have an intimate relationship with each one of us. And this is the beautiful about the Christian God, God our Father, who has this crazy love. Now, the second parable, it says that this lady did anything to find this coin. The Greek word for that is translated by coin is drachma. And drachma was the salary of a regular worker for a day. So I don't know how much somebody here in this area could make in a day. Do you have any idea? So whatever it is, this is what we have to keep in mind. So it wasn't a lot, but it wasn't too much to make that convulsion in a house, you know what I mean? And the interesting thing about this parable is that she invites the neighbors for a party in her home. I was thinking, actually, with that money, she was spending more money in the party than actually in the money. So it's not economics either. You know what I mean? It's trying to look, the gospel is trying to make the point that God acts like in a crazy way when it comes to look for each one of us and when he finds us. So the way he is searching for us is like a little bit crazy, doesn't make any logic, first, and second, once he finds us, he acts like with a crazy happiness, if you want, crazy joy. It's too much. He's making too much a deal for that. Beautiful too, because he's saying that each one of us is very important for him. And that he rejoices more when somebody comes back to him than with the ones who are here. That's the point of today's gospel. Again, please spend the entire week thinking about that and thinking that that's the God we have. Now I'm going to finish reading the Catechism of the Catholic Church, because it's too much. I don't want to talk too much. I'm getting crazy with that. God calls men first. Man may forget his Creator or hide far from his face. He may run after idols or accuse the deity of having abandoned him. Yet the living and true God tirelessly calls each person to that mysterious encounter known as prayer. That's paragraph 2567. God calls men first. Some people say, I encountered God, I found God. It's not true. Actually, God finds us first. Because if we have the grace to encounter God, it's because the grace of God is helping us to do it. So everything is about God's grace. He is crazy to have an intimate relationship with each one of us. He desires with passion, if you want, to have an intimate relationship with each one of us. How beautiful and wonderful is that? So let us pray today that we may be able to experience that. I cannot do it for you. I always say that. You have to do it by yourself. So try to experience that craziness that we can find in God. Craziness, when I'm saying that, is about the craziness of the God we believe in, that is looking for us and who is searching for each one of us. Please stand.